She's grown, she's bold, she's speaking her mind. A little dose of truth with a whole lot of shine. Hot topics, real life, no stressing. You tapped in now, it's a dose of precious.
Real talk, good vibes, and Gems authentic. Welcome to a dose of precious. So, just for a quick update, you guys can see I'm back to my fake plant. So, no new flowers. I'm doing great. I don't have any complaints. I'm trying to think, is there anything? Oh, so I told you guys last week about the dress that I ordered and the tariffs and all of that. I did not order that dress. I ended up ordering another dress. And just a quick update, that dress still has not been shipped. And so I'm thinking that I may need to spend a day just out there, just out and looking for a dress to wear just in case, because shipping can be really fast. Sometimes with me, I get things in 2 or 3 days after it's shipped, which is really fast in my opinion. And then other times it takes forever. My nails are still not done because I ordered some press-on nails. That's another thing. And I still have not received my nails. So I just hope that it comes by the time I actually need my nails done. So my nails are still not done. Yes, I am officially a press-on girl a press-on nail girly. I am, a press-on girl naily. A press-on nail girly. So now I am officially a press-on girl nail. What the fuck? I am now officially a press-on nail girly. There we go. And so, just to jump right in, I did actually want to talk about Cowboy Carter. We know that Beyoncé is on tour. And, naturally, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a part of the Beehive because I don't think I'm a diehard Beyonce fan. But I will say that I do love Beyonce. I think that the Beehive is another level, and I don't think I'm there, but I definitely do. I love Beyonce now. I went through the whole process of trying to get the tickets when they were first released. And for me personally, I did have a budget. I did go to one of the dates the year before last. Whenever she went on tour last, I went on the Renaissance tour. I went on the Renaissance tour. I went to the Renaissance tour, one of the Renaissance tour dates. And it was an amazing experience. I thought the tickets that I bought would be a little bit closer, but I still haven't had an amazing time. It was an amazing experience. But one thing that no one can ever never say about Beyonce is the fact that she puts on a great show. Genuinely, I was stunned. Is for lack of better words, I just was that was me. When she first came out, she sang Dangerously in Love, which is, oh my gosh, why am I feel I'm about to tear up? That's one of my favorite songs. And so it was Beyonce. It was my first time seeing her in person. It was my favorite song. It was a lot. And so I screamed so loud because I was just oh my gosh, I'm in the same room as Beyonce and she's singing my favorite fucking song. I have a list of songs that I probably would not be able to say off of the top of my head. That is just my favorite, and no one can ever talk shit about those songs. And Dangerously in Love, I think it's specifically part 2. Dangerously in Love part 2. My favorite songs ever. A part of the list of my favorite songs ever. And it was intense. She's gorgeous, is what I'll say. She's gorgeous in person, and the mic is on, because I know that's a thing for the girls. It's a thing for me too. The mic is on, and a beautiful fucking song. And so, yeah, I was blown away. Anyway, that being said, I'm not a concert girl. I have come to the realization that when I really think about the things that makes me happy, going to concerts is not something that I need to do. Being like out is not something that I need to do. That doesn't like fulfill me much. I did enjoy Beyonce. I would enjoy going to Cowboy Carter. I'm not willing to pay $600 to do that. So that was my point of saying all of that, just to tie it back in. The tickets were really, really high. I had like I had a $300 budget. I was willing to go $350, maybe $400. I would have pushed it to, being completely honest. $600 though, I was not willing to pay. The prices in my city has significantly gone down. And so that's what I'm going to talk about, is the fact that these prices have gone down dramatically. And I'm shocked because it's Beyonce. But at the same time, I'm like, girl, read the fucking room. People don't have money. Who is paying $3,000 to come and see you? The tickets were ridiculous. Like, honestly, it was insane. And I also, I'm going to say this. I think it's weird that so many people are going on tour. Katy Perry. Who the fuck wants to see Katy Perry in 2025? You tell me. Maybe I'm crazy. But I don't know anybody personally, and I enjoy a good California girls. We unforgettable Daisy Dukes. But I love it. I do. You may not think so because of stereotypes, but I love a good Katy Perry song, right? I probably only know 3 Katy Perry songs, so you may have been right about that. But the point is, who the fuck wants to pay an arm and a leg to see Katy Perry? We know that Katy Perry is flopping. But I'm just like, why are so many celebrities going on tour? Perfect example, Chris Brown. You said what you want about him. I have a lot to say about him. We're going to put that aside for today. I won't talk about the things that I have to say about Chris Brown. What I will say is, why is he going on tour back to back? Like year back to back? It's very much so giving the girls are trying to gather together money so that they're able to sustain themselves, as much money as possible. Save your coins, because the truth is, the other girls, the regular girls, are going to record everything anyway. I mean, the truth is, I'm scrolling past the Beyonce clips. They're posting the entire fucking performance. Somebody had a 60-minute, listen to me, on TikTok too, a 60-minute video of Beyonce's tour, her performance, her tour date. I mean, the concert only lasts, 90 minutes? The year before last. It only lasted, I mean, this may be pushing it, but 90 minutes, if she even performed a good 90 minutes. So, yeah. I don't know. It's a lot going on right now. Do I think Beyonce is worth it? I do. Do I think the other girls are worth it? No comment. What I will say though is, I loved Levi jeans. You call me pretty little thing, and I love to turn them. Let me pick up the microphone for you guys. You call me pretty little thing, and I love to turn them on. Oh girl, I wish I was your Levi jeans, 'cause I love to turn them on. That was a great song. That was a great freaking song. So she's a great artist. I cannot deny that. I love that song. I think it was a great song. Still, I'm not like super pressed. Not sorry. So we'll see. We'll see if I buy the tickets. If I go and see her, I may be, just talking shit, and I may still go and see her. So it's not like I'm trying to downplay Beyonce, because either way, she's gonna have a great show. So let's jump right into viral talks.
Viral talk.
This was a pretty long intro. We are back on the Dear Future Wifey podcast, one of their viral clips. And I want you guys to watch this clip before I give my notes, but I just thought that this was a lot. And
I was tired. I was in a season where God said, just be ready for your wife. So I went to this concert. I was invited. And long story short, as I sat there, he gave all of his background singers an opportunity to get a piece of the song. So two of them stuck out to me. One guy's name was Chris, and then the other was Kanita. And so afterwards, I'm thinking in my mind initially, if they ever come back to Detroit, I might need them in the studio, might work on some records. So I introduced myself to the both of them, and after that, I left. And so when I introduced myself to Kanita, I didn't want to be the typical dude off the street, let me get your number in church, what I'm saying? So I just made it simple. I said, you know what, if you're on Facebook, I'll connect with you there. If you, on social media, I'll leave it there. If it's more, cool. If it's not, cool.
So hold on, but so you was open to more.
I was open to more, but it wasn't my initial
original intent.
Yeah, see, I was in that time, even though God showed me her, I was still walking according to my preference. I liked light-skinned, long hair, petite models, all that crazy nonsense. I like what I want.
Yeah.
And so the Lord had to show me that that's where I was at,
So what I want to focus on based off of that clip was just preferences. I think that a lot of people, specifically Black men, get a bad rep for stating their preferences. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having a preference. That being said, I would like for them to dig deep and really understand where those preferences come from, and to really understand if this is something that they're actually just genuinely attracted to, or if this is something that society has shaped them to prefer, and them not really realizing that these specific features or these specific characteristics are closely associated to Eurocentric standards, as opposed to what they naturally would like. I just would like for men to understand that society has an effect on all of us, right? Society has an effect on all of our perspectives. It has an effect on how we decide to date. And if you are not the type of person who can like push outside of these specific ideas that are pushed onto you, you may fall into you may end up liking or portraying a certain characteristics that don't naturally align with what you would be attracted to. When he described what he liked, he said light skin, and he said model, and he said all of these things. And I'm like, damn. You described everything that, if you were a woman, granted he's a man, you are the exact opposite of. And whenever we have those types of scenarios, not saying that you can't be attracted to things that look different from you, it always makes me think that you must think that you are ugly, and you also then must think, because you probably look like your parents in some way, you must also think that, you're not attractive. And so you hate yourself. And this is self-hate. You're projecting self-hate is my point. You don't think that you're attractive, which is why you don't want someone that looks anything like you. And so you are projecting self-hate. Just in case you guys didn't get that correlation, there it is for you. And I want us to be in a world where I can say genuinely, and I to some degree I can say genuinely, it's okay to like who you like and all of these things. But I think that specifically when it comes to black people, or specifically when it comes to African Americans, we don't take the time to dig deep and really understand where certain stereotypes, or where certain ideas, or where certain thoughts come from. You just project things, right? I remember speaking to my mom at one point in time. She was basically telling me a tradition that her family had. This was harmless. This is like, it's not even a big deal, but it was something like, oh, my mom would take her tree down. This is just an example. Every January 13th. And so now I take my tree down every January 13th. And I'm like, well, okay. Well, why do you take your tree? What, do you know why she took her tree down every January 13th? Like, was this like some symbolic type of thing? Was this something that had to do with slavery? Was this something that, like, what was the point of her specifically choosing this day? And she's like, no, I don't know. But my mom did it this way, so I did it this way. And this was not a big deal, and that's exactly why I'm using this example. But at the same time, understanding why things were created is a starting point to determine if this is something that you want to continue on to push onto your children, that you want to continue on to push onto the world, right? Because not only does she have children, but she has grandchildren, she has nieces, she has nephews, all of these things. And to see if this is a healthy thing that should be passed on to further generations. Because if this comes from a place of, oh, I couldn't, put my tree down before this certain point of time because of racism, or I couldn't put my tree down because of this point in time because of, I don't know, anything, right, that could be negative, that may not be something that you want to necessarily purposefully push down onto the next generation. My point is, understand why you have these so-called preferences. Really try to dig deep and understand if this is something that you're actually attracted to, and this is something that you actually want for yourself, or if this is something that has been programmed by the outside world that then makes you feel like, oh my gosh, light-skinned girls are so beautiful, right? And dark-skinned girls are so ugly, or whatever the case may be. So to sum everything up, I want Black women specifically that have not been viewed as the preference in the past to live unapologetically as themselves. And although we have seen a lot of instances where we have not been chosen, I think as you get older, you get to really experience a lot more men that appreciate you and that love you and that think that you're gorgeous exactly for who you are, and lean into that. Anybody that expresses like interest in you, and I'm trying to do this as well, like basically what I'm trying to say is go where the fuck you're loved. If somebody is loving on you and they're liking on you and all of the things, then do that. And I get in this specific instance, it's like a show and it has certain like parameters and all of those things. So yes, I'm not faulting her for this, but go where you're loved. If somebody is showing you love and affection and they loving on your curves, whether you're a thicker woman and they're loving on your dark skin, if they're loving on your curls, if they're loving on anything like that, then lean into that. There's going to be a decent amount of people who may not enjoy what you stand for physically, what you look like physically, and that's okay. Fuck them, right? But anybody that is enjoying every inch of you, then lean into that. And I say that to say, whether they are white, whether they're black, whether they're Spanish, Asian, whatever the case may be, lean into that. I have, sidebar, I have limited myself, I feel like, a lot. There was somebody recently that had, not recently, but recently enough, that had tried to come on to me, that I feel like I didn't entertain it really at all. Like, a little bit, but not really at all. And I'm like, damn, what if that was your husband and you sitting here and you looking for a black love, fight the power, let's say about the stuff, and your husband, I'm not gonna say he may be white, but he may be. And I'm not saying that he may be Filipino, but he may be. And I'm not saying that he may be Mexican, but he may be. And I'm not saying that he may be, I don't know, whatever the case may be, but he may fucking be. So now we're gonna go into show recap.
Show recap.
And we're going to be recapping episode 8 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I still stand on how I feel about me not loving the show and where they are and blah, 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 and all of the things. But we're going to talk about the episode because I did watch it again and I did take notes for you guys. I half watched it, I'm not going to lie, so I could have missed a lot. Yeah, I already said multiple times, I'm not super enjoying the show, but here we are. We will start off with Shamia. So we know that Shamia's husband, as a matter of fact, goes and takes baby Shiloh to to a doctor's appointment, and he just seems like an amazing dad. She talks about how he really wants a son and he's so deserving and how she wants to give him that. And I completely understand as a wife. I mean, I would probably feel the same if I was in her shoes. And I love that for her. I'm going to say the same things I always say about Shamia. I want Shamia to let go of her, not let go of her friendship, but let go of some of the loyalty that she has to Portia. I want her to downgrade Portia from a best friend maybe to an acquaintance, which is a big jump, but Portia just does not have the same loyalty for Shamia. Later on in the episode, I feel like my point has been proven, but we'll get there. We also see that Shamia shares that Angela talks about Kelly throwing shade at her and how Angela felt some type of way and all the things. This was revealed at the bartending event that they had on Portia's birthday trip to wherever the fuck they went. That was right up the block, literally. Which I didn't love, but whatever. Moving on to Portia. Portia is still picking a fight with Drew. We know that Portia finds out that Drew ended up filming with Dennis, and this completely ruined her birthday night. I know that I'm skipping ahead, but I just felt like that was so stupid of a reason for her to be upset and change her outfit and all of the things. It was just like, Portia, like, grow the fuck up. What I will say is, I feel like Portia was not bringing it this season. But I forgot that Simon has sent a cease and desist. So basically he made it so that Portia could not film in the house that they own together or whatever, that they lived in together, whatever the case may be. And he made it so that she could not really speak about what was going on in their marriage as well, which made her very limited on the amount that she could have shown at that point. And I think that may have been why she was focusing so much on the situation that she had with her and Drew. Because other than that, I'm just like, what other reason would you actually super care about this situation? That was my first initial thought. My second thought after seeing the trailer that was released is because she ends up going to sit down with Ralph, which just, right? Portia just needs to stop. She needs to stop. So I think that that's the real reason why Portia is focusing on this whole Drew situation. It's because Simon is not allowing her to talk about, what's going on with her divorce. I would hope so, because I can't imagine that she actually really cares about this. I mean, who the fuck really wants Dennis besides her? Let's be so fucking for real. And we know that Drew goes on the birthday trip and she ends up leaving because she just wasn't feeling Portia's energy, which I completely understand. I feel like I want to be considerate to the fact that Drew is going through a divorce, Portia is going through a divorce, and Kelly is going through a divorce. And that's a really hard time to deal with at the end of the day. And so I am happy that Drew was able to realize that she doesn't want to deal with this. And she just left, period. She didn't miss nothing. So I didn't really have any notes on Kelly. She's always a good time, which I appreciate, but she didn't really bring much else to the trip, so I don't really have much else to say about her, honestly. Angela did have a conversation with Brittany. Now, her conversation with Brittany kind of ended up being just I feel like a ploy for Brittany to be able to point fingers at Angela because she felt some type of way because Angela was questioning her, but we won't talk about that. She says that Angela likes to play victim. I don't really see how Angela was playing victim. Brittany did explain herself, but it still doesn't necessarily make sense to me. So Britt felt like she didn't get much support at the brunch. And so that's why she reacted the way that she did. And I completely understood that. Although in that moment when I initially watched it, I was kind of just like, I didn't like her energy. I don't really like Britt on the show much. And I hope that they don't invite her back. But I do understand from her perspective, regardless of what she did, the truth is she didn't deserve for Kenya to come out and show like new pictures of her and do everything that she did. And so it was sad that the girls didn't really seem like sympathetic to what she went through. They were just kind of like, oh, you should have came with different energy, when in reality she had gone through something that's humiliating. And I think for a lot of people, they would agree that that's humiliating, regardless of the fact if she did sex work or not. That's not something that she put out onto this specific platform. And so I think that as a woman, I completely understand that. And it was kind of weird to me that they didn't, but whatever. So after the dinner at Portia's birthday trip, whatever the case may be, we know that Drew walks off, and after Drew walks off, Portia walks off, and after Portia walks off, we see a conversation between Portia and Cynthia. And Cynthia is basically consoling her. She's trying to get a better understanding of what's going on with her. And Portia says something to me that really stands out. I think that before I even get into that, Cynthia did a great job at consoling her. I think Portia was really open and receiving to Cynthia's, embrace or whatever the case may be. But Portia was basically like, Cynthia, I'm so glad that you came to talk to me. Like, I like the other girls, but like, you're it for me. Which I don't understand. If Shamia is supposed to be your bestie, one, why didn't Shamia come and talk to you? Because she should be the person that should know how to calm you down in these situations, right? If she's your best friend and she's been your best friend for years. Another thing is, why, even if she wasn't the person in that moment to come and talk to you, why would you say something like that? I honestly hate that Portia is such a shitty friend to Shamia. And although that could just be from what I see, but it just seems like Portia is shitting on Shamia any chance she gets. And I just hate that for Shamia, because Shamia is just such a ride or die. I want Shamia to separate herself as far away from Portia as she can. I don't necessarily feel like they need to become sworn enemies, but I definitely don't think that she needs to know any of her personal business. I think that they need to just be very much so acquaintances. Like, they can be cordial, but they don't need to be close at all, because Portia just seems like the type of bitch that's a friend to no one. That being said, we can speak about how the night of her dinner, which is the end of the trip essentially anyway, we know that the girls go down to the pool. The girls, excluding Angela and excluding Drew, because Drew had already planned to leave the next day. And Angela said that she overheard the girls at the pool, and Portia basically said, well, she essentially said, Angela better stop fucking with me before I fuck her husband. I feel like I don't necessarily want to say that Portia has been a hoe this whole time, and you know what you get with hoes, because I've been in close proximity to girls that are, I don't want to say hoes, but are promiscuous, for lack of better words. And I mean, what the fuck am I trying to say? Yeah, that's it. I've been in proximity to them, and so I get that those are not the type of women that you want to leave around your man. What I will say is I've never had someone threaten to use their vagina. What is the point? Because even if Charles did fuck you, I mean, so you were fucked. Now what? That's what I was thinking. So even if he did fuck you, you were fucked. And now what? What do you think? You gonna fuck him and he's gonna make you his wife? Because probably not. That's most of the time not how it goes. Every once in a while you might catch a lick, and that may be the case, like you did with Fallon. You know, shout out to you. But 9 times out of 10, that's not really how that works. Like, most men don't leave their wives. Simon was just an opportunist, and he felt like you were going to be an opportunity in order for him to elevate his status. And that's what that was. Most men do not leave their wives. That's not even a thought to them. You're just a fuck. So what was the point of you saying that? Number one. Number two, that just shows your character. Because who the fuck would threaten to fuck someone's husband? I'll wait. Because that's a real question. And so, although in the past I would have been like, she's not necessarily a hoe. Like, she lived her life. She dated. She got married. She got divorced. Who cares? Now it's making me look at you like, oh, no, you are a hoe. Because only hoes say shit like that. Because why would you say that? Why would you say something like that? Portia, you're 40-something, you know better. This is ridiculous. Like, grow the fuck up. This whole thing, you're dropping the ball in the show. You're not giving us nothing. I get that you're being sued and you really can't give too much information, but it's like you're not giving us nothing at all. You're giving us some bullshit with Drew and Dennis. We don't give a fuck about Dennis. Do you want to still be with Dennis? Like, what the fuck is that? Is that something that we should be looking into? Like, what is going on? Other than that, it's like, no, you're not giving anything. It's giving very much boring. And maybe that's why I feel the way I feel about the show. I'm really super not interested. I've been trying to be consistent for you guys, and that's why I've been reporting on it. I could still barely, even this episode has more going on than a lot of the other episodes, and I barely watched this episode still twice. Because the first time I watched it for leisure, because it just came out, and the second time I'm watching it for notes, and I'm still just really not feeling it. So, but maybe that's just me. Maybe it's me. We can move on to comment confessions.
Comment
We've
confessions.
been married for 12 years. Not perfect, but solid. The kind of marriage where both of you know how you take the other's coffee, where their back hurts, what shows they'll fall asleep halfway through to. Comfortable, predictable. So when he started acting weird, I assumed it was a midlife thing. He bought a new cologne, too strong, started going to the gym once, and he pulled his hamstring. He suddenly got really into minimalistic interior design after watching a new Netflix show, like aggressively into it. He kept saying things like, I just need simplicity, while throwing out throw pillows and hiding my plants. At first I joked and thought he was going through a sad beige divorced dad phase before the divorce, and we laughed until we didn't. One morning I was making breakfast, like always, eggs, toast, and coffee. I've made it the same way for a decade. And he just sat down and says, completely deadpan, I don't think I'm happy anymore. I think I want a divorce. No build up, no fight, just eggs, toast, divorce. I spiraled, called my best friend, cried into a pillow, Googled how to survive a divorce after 35, and was served 3 engagement ring ads and a coupon for a weighted blanket. But here's where it gets spicy. A week later, I go to pack up his side of the closet because I'm petty and efficient, and I find, no lie, a burner phone. Like, full-on secret Nokia. Drug dealer, looking at his phone, shoved into a shoebox. I opened it. Guess who he's texting? His old high school ex-boyfriend. Yep. The man who once told me he didn't like musicals because it felt too gay was out here texting his ex little nothings and pictures of him shirtless next to my hydrangeas. Turns out his craving for simplicity was simply him realizing he wanted a different flavor of life entirely. He was living in a tiny, overpriced apartment with his high school boyfriend, a French press, no throw pillows, and me, I kept the house, the hydrangeas, and the goddamn pillows. Girl, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to that. I hope that we get to a time where men realize that it's better off just being who you are, loving who you are, as opposed to getting into these long relationships with people that you know that you don't love, only to waste everybody's fucking time. Because that's exactly what you did. She could have went out years ago and found somebody that truly loved her, or not. She could have learned to love herself, or whatever her path was. And you could have been with your high school boyfriend 20 years ago. Why the fuck did you wait all of that long to be like, oh, let me go and live out my actual true desires and be gay? Life is short, and the older I get, the more I realize you have to live life for yourself and not for others. And it sounds so like duh, but I can get how you get wrapped up in shit, but at the same time it's just like, don't get so wrapped up that you're actually gay and you end up with somebody that you hate. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I hope to see you guys next week. I better see you guys next week. Don't forget that this is streaming on all platforms that streams podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And I'll see you guys next week.
You tapped in now, it's a dose of precious. 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 She's grown. She's broke. She's speaking her mind. A little dose of truth with a whole lot of shine. Hot topics, real life, no stressing. You tapped in now, it's a dose of precious.